Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little stream for you lads and lasses. We're back here late night to discuss the latest Man United news of the day. And as you speak in the chat, as we are hanging out here, we are FA Cup champions, my friend. Get in there, my son. What an absolute buzz of a day yesterday, guys. It was absolutely tremendous, to be fair. I still cannot quite believe that we were able to best those cheating City bastards, and best them is the expression as well, because we were better than those twats, mate. And we did deserve to win. And oh my God, that goal that Kobe Manu scored, that team move from Man United, one of the best FA Cup final goals ever, mate, really, when you analyse it, watch it back. What a goal, what a team goal. Anyway, FA Cup winners, get in there, you beauties. So just wanted to say that does feel sweet. We've got lots to get into in this show in regards to the fallout of that and what that means for the future of this club, Ten Hag, the players, etc., etc. But get in there, my son. Let's get a hashtag FA Cup winners in the live chat, my friends. Let's be having you. And also, not only that, obviously, but we qualified for the Europa League in the process and stitched up Newcastle United and dropped Chelsea Scummers down to conference guff as well. Come on. What a fine, fine day. Anyway, welcome everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. We've got a lot to discuss. We're going to get into it in a moment. But before I do, let's just shout out and big up everyone in the chat here tonight. Big Bad Broad, what's going on? United 90, Marco, Fire Up, Phillips Thompson, Arctic Jacko, Urbano, Valdez, you legend, what's going on? Kingslayer, Rodtown, yes lad, Arctic Jacko, David Brooks, Madhouse, Kieran, what's going on lad? MK, hello to you as well, yes. Who else we got in here? Luke MUFC, Brandon, yes, Mr. Leo G, Chris O'Hagan, Kevin Jones, United Forever, Blakey, Jay Chapman, Rajon. Let's go, legends, right. Thank you very much for joining us. Do us a favour at the start of this stream. Smash that thumbs up button on it. Give us a massive like spike. That'll help the stream out, and share it around if you want. The link is pinned to the top of the live chat there. You can give us a repost on Twitter if you want. Much appreciated if you do. And also subscribe. Get yourself subscribed if you're new. Get yourself involved in the chat, and we do dip in and out the chat as we go along, so we'll hear your thoughts as we go. But of course, big Q&A at the end of the show, guys, so stick around for that. Nice one, Corrupted, Justin, Bronch, Neil, Natalia, Mike Hill, thank you for the super chat there, my friend. He says we should 100% keep Erik Ten Hag. Ineos are idiots if we don't. He's won 2 cups in 2 years, had a freak season with injuries, and the players love him. You can see it. Mike, I mean, fair comments from you there, Mike, lad. I mean, I can't really disagree with what you've said there. Obviously, you're leaving out the 8th place finish. You're leaving out the Guff Star most of the season. You're leaving out the -1 goal difference. You're leaving out the Champions Group stage debacle. But the other things that you said, I can't deny. You know, we're gonna dissect it and get into it and hear your thoughts and opinions throughout. Thank you so much for getting your say in there, though, Mike. I appreciate you very much indeed. I think a lot of people probably would be prepared, to give Erik Ten Hag at least a little bit longer now. That's what I think anyway, because he has won the FA Cup, mate. That does mean something. Rushmano, thank you for getting in tonight. How you doing? He says, asking for someone to confirm how many cups did Arsenal Hollands win this season. Exactly, so they may have had a great season, Arsenal. They finished second, obviously, only a couple of points behind City, pushed them all the way. But what have they got to show for it at the end? Might as well have finished 4th place. I mean, we have ultimately done not as good in terms of Champions League qualification, but we have won a trophy, mate, and that does mean something, doesn't it? 13 times FA Cup champions. Yeah, we're only one away now. I think Arsenal are the club actually with more than us. I think they got 14, but we're getting up there, mate. You know what I mean? We're still adding to it, lad. Oh no, Manchester City fan for life. So since 2011, then says we are champions of England. Yeah. Yeah, you are champions of England, mate. Nice one. Yeah, that's true. Can't argue with that, lad. For now, until it's stripped from you. You know, when that does happen, you will no longer be champions of England, mate. And they will have to remove all of the previous championships as well. Probably. We'll see. Let's face it, you've cheated to get where you are, lad. Let's face it. Anyway, let's get stuck into the show. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. To be perfectly honest, nobody really wants to hear from, the shitty scummers anyway. I mean, just seeing as you've discussed it, yeah. Rushmano's mentioned it here. I mean, I have seen a report today. It is from the Daily Mail, right? So take it with a massive pinch of sea salt here. But there is reports coming out that Pep Guardiola is expected to leave Manchester City at the end of the coming season. So basically a year's time, maybe, like rats leaving a sinking ship, type of thing. Because obviously the charges will be coming at some point. Surely they're going to get punished. Surely they're going to get punished. They can't just bury all these 115 charges under the carpet forever. Or maybe they can, because let's face it, they're very good at the old palm greasing aspect of things, It seems like it. So who knows? But certainly, it does seem like if that report is to be believed, then maybe Pep's time at City is no longer that long. Perhaps he will be leaving in the near future. It would be obviously good for Manchester United if that's the case, because he is a great manager. He has obviously managed to play a certain style of football, which I don't like, but is obviously super effective. Wasn't effective yesterday against us, though. But, you have to say fair play to what Pep's done. Some people say he has changed football in the Premier League. I think he has changed football in the Premier League for the worse. Yeah, he has, because his horrible, smothering, guff, bore you to death, possession-style antics, yeah, you do have to change the way you play in order to deal with that. They do it tremendously well, but yeah, whatever. Pep Fraudiola, mate, see you later on, son, you're a cheating bastard. So Pep Guardiola's achievements at Manchester City, very good. Very good. You know what they remind me of? When I was a little kid and I used to play Championship Manager or Football Manager back in the day, sometimes, because I was a little kid and I just didn't really appreciate the challenge, sometimes I would add myself as a manager of another club and then just buy all my shit players. Oh, what's that? I'm buying David May for 28 million quid in 1996, am I? Nice. Yeah, there you go, Arsenal. You have him. Then retire. Do you know what I mean? Then I've got 26 million but at the same time I'll buy Thierry Henry off him for 2 mil. Do you know what I mean? That's what Pep Guardiola's doing, mate. He is playing Football Manager with the cheat modes on, mate. That's all he's doing. So fair play to him, but it's an easier job than a lot of other jobs, isn't it? Let's face it. He is he needs the best of the best of the best, this guy. Just on Pep Guardiola, though, so he has said a couple of things about Manchester United after the FA Cup final, just in regards to a couple of our players, and just as we're talking about Pep right now, we will discuss this first. But he has said some nice things about the likes of the Butcher Martinez. He actually called him one of the top 5 centre-backs in the world. He said he made the difference on this game by playing passes for our defence, and he believes Lisandro Martinez is the top 5 centre-backs in the world. Can we just get a little hashtag Lisandro Martinez appreciation post in here or something? Or the Butcher of Manchester emoji? Let's get something going here, guys, because that man was absolutely immense yesterday. In all fairness, the whole back line was immense. The whole team was immense. But he really was immense. Like, he really does encompass sort of what it's about to be a Manchester United player. That fight, that bottle, that passion. And just the quality as well. I think there is no denying Lisandro Martinez. If we can keep this guy fit, that is a stunning player that United have got. That is a great signing that Erik Ten Hag made. In all fairness, no issues with Lisandro Martinez at all going forward. I think he is a tremendous player for this football club, and he just gets it, guys. He just understands this football club. And if we can keep him fit, we've got ourselves a heck of a player. So, yeah, Pep knows. Pep can see quality. Jamie Carragher, on the other hand, not so much. He's obviously said when he first came in that he thought he was going to be gashed due to the fact that he was 5'9". I mean, let's face it, Carragher was 6'1", whatever he is, but he was absolutely shite. Proper journeyman of a defender, if we're being honest. Okay, he was decent, but he's no Butcher, is he? So who cares what that guy thinks anyway? He also was talking about Bruno Fernandes, heaping praise on Bruno Fernandes, and he said that this guy's creativity is one of the best I've ever seen. And that is also undeniable. What an assist that was from Bruno, by the way, for that Mainu goal. Just the vision, the execution of that little deft through ball there. That little deft pass through, just to guide it through to Kobbie Mainoo from that lovely move. What a goal that was. One of the best FA Cup final goals in terms of what a team goal it was for Manchester United. But, yeah, Bruno, another Another great performance from him yesterday, captain's performance. There's too many players really to praise in that team. Kobbie Mainoo was absolutely unbelievable as well. I mean, the stats from Kobbie Mainoo yesterday, look at this. 100% dribbles completed, 100% chance conversion, 21 passes completed, 1 clearance, 1 goal. It's incredible, really, what a performance that guy's was able to sort of manifest out there in an FA Cup final at 19 years of age. This is his first breakout season. I love what Paul Scholes said about him yesterday as well. He said that, don't compare me to Kobbie Mainoo because Kobbie Mainoo's much better. At 19 years of age, I was nowhere near the player that Kobbie Mainoo was. He's, great on the ball, great passing, so cool when it comes to keeping the ball, etc., etc. Getting mad praise from the likes of Paul Scholes. And you can't really deny what he's saying. How can you really say that somebody at 19 who's only just burst on the scene this season should be that good? He shouldn't be that good, should he? We've got ourselves an unreal talent there. An unreal talent in Kobbie Mainoo, guys. Just the stats are insane. The quality this season's insane. He's only getting better. He's got the right mentality. It's bloody awesome. Also, Alejandro Garnacho got the goal of the season, by the way. Before we get into the Ten Hag stuff, I'll just cover some of these little tidbits. Alejandro Garnacho's overhead kick has been awarded Premier League goal of the season. Obviously, what an unbelievable goal that was. And of course, he scored in the FA Cup final as well. The two young lads, probably the two lads, in fact, never mind age, but just the two lads this season that have performed to the best standards for Manchester United, or at least their own standards, what we're expecting from them, they've exceeded. So Garnacho and Mainoo, unbelievable this season. Absolutely unbelievable. This Manchester City scummer thinks that we actually give a shit about his opinion, lad. Getting in here with another 199 super chat. Thank you very much for your super chat there. He says, safe to say we won 4p and you ain't. All right, okay. Well, how did that double work out for you, prick? 4p, yeah, cool, mate. Nice one. Well, we'll see how it feels when you guys get a 4p of these titles rescinded, mate. Let's see how that feels when that eventually happens, you absolute melt. But fair play to you. Okay, so, right, guys, we've got over 200 legends in here. Keep smashing those likes. Get your thoughts in throughout the show. I'm just going to get onto the Ten Hag stuff now. Actually, sorry, before I do, let's cover this as well. Amrabat, another player who was absolutely insane for the team yesterday. Don't know how many ball recoveries he had, how many tackles won, etc. But he seemed to be just absolutely everywhere winning the ball. In regards to Sofyan Amrabat, his future is in doubt still. There is an option for Manchester United, of course. There's some quotes now coming out from Sofyan Amrabat, which says, he said, staying at Manchester United is certainly an option. We are going to talk. Manchester United are the biggest club in the world, so who wouldn't want to play football here? So, certainly in recent weeks, Sofyan Amrabat has done enough, I think, to warrant Manchester United spending that extra, 20 mil or something to make the move permanent and to sign him. I think we've got to get him in there, guys. Smash a 1 in the chat if you would like to sign Sofyan Amrabat in a permanent position at the football club. Smash a 2 if you say, nah, just go back to Serie A, lad. Let us know your thoughts. But in my opinion, he was an absolute colossus in that game yesterday, and he's shown enough in recent weeks, not earlier on in the season, because he was hit and miss. He did go missing in some games. He was asked to play out of position sometimes. It wasn't the best Sofyan. Recently, in the last few weeks, you've really seen him play much better. And also yesterday, he was an absolute colossus. So I'd say we've got to go and make this guy a permanent Manchester United player now. I mean, look, you can go out there and spend 85 million on a fidget spinner. So the 20-30 million euros that it takes to bring in Sofyan Amrabat, it's not really much of a gamble in this day and age, is it? So, yeah, great. Another great performance from him. Would be lovely to bring him in. Matthew Smith, thanks for the super sticker of the horny red devil there, lad. I appreciate you. Let's go. Thank you, Matty Smith. Top man. Good to see you. Let's be having you. Okay. So there it is, guys. Just a few little things to discuss there at the start, to get them out of the way before we get into the main topic, which is, of course, the future of Erik Ten Hag. I think you've got to say that winning the FA Cup has only done massive benefit to him, whether he stays or goes, because if he goes, and it's like the Louis van Gaal situation, and they do end up getting rid, well, he's ended on a real high. It is 2 trophies in 2 years, with 3 finals in the 2 years. You could certainly have done a lot worse in this time. You certainly could have done a lot worse. It doesn't tell the overall bigger picture because you have to also factor in the whole season. I think it is a little bit foolish just to look at the cup run or one game against City in that final. If we'd have lost that final 3-0 to City, then I'm not sure anybody's really saying, let's stick with this guy. But because we won, it does obviously make you think, wow, this guy's winning us trophies, but let's be real, the team style, the overall quality throughout the season was just not really there. We did have a mad amount of injuries. There's a part of me that almost just thinks, well, unless the right person is available, which I'm looking at the candidates to take over this Manchester United job, unless the right person is available, maybe you should just give him a couple more months, like give him till Christmas. What's the worst that he's going to do? Absolutely shart it again, and then you just sack him and get somebody else. Well, that's a big gamble, though, because if we do shart it, then you've wasted another season, basically. You've shat another season. Man United damages this season past were done really early doors, to be perfectly honest with you, in terms of like being out of the title race and struggling in the league. It was all done early doors and the Champions League as well. So a few months of this sort of mediocrity that we've seen this season could be enough to absolutely kill another season. It's a bit of a gamble, guys, either way, because look, you've got to get a new manager who may or may not do well. Or you stick with Ten Hag, who could turn the corner and maybe go and achieve some things after a very piss poor season, but he has still won you a trophy. It's very difficult to say what is the best thing to do. I mean, I'm looking at the next manager odds here. Let me just get them up on the screen here, folks. So the next manager odds of Manchester United, right? These are the next manager odds. So apparently right now, Kieran McKenna is the favourite to get the job. He's got the shortest odds on him at 4-5, right? So I looked at this earlier on. You work your way down the list. You've got Pochettino's the second favourite at 2-1. Then Thomas Tuchel, Gareth Southgate 12-1, Roberto De Zerbi, Amorim, Frank, Postecoglou, Potter and Nagelsmann. Okay, I mean, I don't like any of them, really. I've got to be totally honest with you. I don't really like any of them with you. I've seen some good stuff from Nagelsmann in the past, some progressive good stuff. He's a younger manager. I think maybe he could be decent, but 33-1, he's obviously not really that realistic to be Manchester United manager. Ruben Amorim, again, seen some good stuff from him, but different league, different culture, different level standard job altogether. Absolutely, completely different level at Manchester United. So, these are all kind of shite. Kieran McKenna's the shortest odds, right? I appreciate the link he's got to Manchester United in the past, working with youth teams, and obviously he's had a really good season at Ipswich. And if you're talking about just coaching fundamentals of going in there and changing a team's style of play and getting them to be solid and winning games and, doing it whilst not spending a huge amount of money, you have to respect Kieran McKenna's season at Ipswich and say fair play. That is good, okay? But Ipswich Town getting promoted to the Premier League, does that qualify you to be Manchester United manager? Fuck, no it doesn't. I'm sorry, if they appoint Kieran McKenna instead of Ten Hag, that's a bit of a joke. They can't do that. So, look, the point I'm making here, really, Pochettino's the second favourite, the melter extraordinaire, absolute melter he is. Thomas Tuchel, on the back of the season that he's just had. We want to get that ventriloquist dummy in to replace Ten Hag, do we? Dudes, listen, all I'm saying here is, if Manchester United are going to appoint one of these people from this list, I don't really see the point. I think a lot of these guys are potential melters. In reality, Ten Hag has been here a while. He's obviously got us to play not a good style. I mean, look, I saw the stats before the FA Cup final, Wayne Rooney discussing it on the BBC, saying that, out of the top 5 leagues in Europe, there's 96 teams. Manchester United have conceded the second most amount of chances on us. In the top 5 leagues, the only team below us in terms of chances conceded is Sheffield United. That is a stat I can't really get away from. Neither is the goal difference, neither is the 8th place finish. But, he could change it. I mean, we've seen a few things over the season where you go, wow, what a performance, like that City game yesterday or that Liverpool game, the 4-3. I mean, we certainly did go about it the hard way in winning the FA Cup. We obviously bested the likes of Liverpool. We bested Manchester City in the final. Okay, we had to beat Coventry City on pens, and that's a big red flag. But, we've seen glimpses of the potential of the quality in the side to maybe turn up on any given day. There's been factors as to maybe how bad we've been playing as well, such as all the injury problems that we've had. Have we seen that back lineup, that back four, many times this season? No, because they've hardly been fit at all. Like the Dalot, Wan-Bissaka, Martinez and Varane combo is clearly our best one, and we've barely seen that due to injuries. That double pivot of Kobbie Mainoo and Amrabat was very, very key for us. Well, we haven't seen that enough. I guess Ten Hag could have played that more so, but again, Amrabat was out injured a little while ago. There's obviously been big problems. Look, my thoughts on Ten Hag before the FA Cup final, guys. I'd had enough of the style, I'd had enough of the tactics and the way we're going about it and the mentality and everything. But But unless there's a certain key manager out there, one of the best managers that we could possibly, like one of the proven managers to win things, unless there's somebody like that or somebody who really ticks a lot of the boxes, I'm almost inclined to say that there just isn't the right person out there. If Man United were to sack Ten Hag and bring in Potter or Southgate, that's just destining us to mediocrity. So what do you do? It's a roll of the dice. Do you stick with Ten Hag and allow him some more time? Unless you can go out there and get big Carlo Ancelotti or perhaps Unai Emery or, I don't know, one of the top managers out there who's sort of proven, or big Zinedine Zidane maybe wants a chance, and you want to take a punt on someone with that proven winner's pedigree but not the proven ability to change a fortune of a team in the Premier League. There's only a couple of people that are big enough for the job on paper, guys. That's all I'm saying. So unless you can really guarantee you're going to appoint one of those guys, these melters aren't really the answer. These melters aren't really the answer, guys. Let's be honest. There's a long list of managers there. The favourites there. I'm looking at the favourites. McKenna and Pochettino. I'm thinking, no thanks. I'd probably rather stick with Ten Hag and just roll the dice and see if he starts the season well, and if we can say finally, you know what, the style and the tactics are shite, and it's actually got nothing to do with injuries. It's got nothing to do with injuries. But I don't know if we can definitively say that, because the team has been obviously massively threadbare in that sense. But I do think a lot of it is down to the piss poor planning from Ten Hag and the club in the summer with the signings that we made, obviously, and like buying the wrong players and not strengthening in certain key areas. I don't think we would do that again. I don't think we would do that again, in all honesty, to that level and buy that badly as we did last summer. How could we? It's a very tough argument, guys. Let's get your votes in the poll. I am running a poll here in the stream. Get your votes in there. Keep or sack Erik Ten Hag. Interestingly enough, 71% of the live chat at the moment, after 322 votes, say keep. Now, I know there's a few Liverpool scummers and stuff getting in here tonight who probably want us to keep Ten Hag based on, the last season and everything. But I think there has been a little bit of a turnaround in the mentality of the fan base because of that glory that we saw yesterday. It's quite a way to cap the end of the season. We've managed to get the Europa League football. It's not what we want. We want the Champions League football, but we still got the European football in the end. We still got the trophy in the end. I mean, what's better, to finish fourth and have Champions League football, or finish third, or finish second like Arsenal and have Champions League football, or go another season without a trophy? I mean, it's arguable, isn't it? That's all I'm saying. It's arguable. And there's lots of players at this football club before Ten Hag came here that have let him down massively over the time that he's been here. He's also had his own players brought in. He's been afforded 400 million to improve the side and bring his own players in, which he's done, and only half of them have been good. But he's still having to contend with obviously that previous gash that was there. So if there was a case to say, allow Ten Hag freedom to get who he wants this summer, allow Ten Hag freedom to get rid of, in a ruthless fashion, all of the shit players, and then we can't use the excuse next season of, we've got injury problems, there's these players lingering from the past who are shite, and you just give him that fresh approach now, and you back him for a couple of months, and you see if he's got the bollocks to deal with the job, then it's like, then you've given it a fair crack of the whip then. If you sacked him now, and this is from me saying this, who thinks he's had a shit season and is a bit of a gash manager for Manchester United, if you sacked him now, there would always be that question in the back of your mind, what if? You know what I mean? What if we let him go too early? What if this guy was onto something? What if this guy was a winner for the football club? Because 2 seasons, 3 cup finals, 2 trophies, regardless of the league performance being shite and the Champions League performance being shite, that's winning. That's how winning's done, So... I don't know the answer, guys, is all I'm saying. I don't know the answer. My gut instinct probably says, based on the whole season, he's not right because of how we've played and how we conceded all those chances and the awful nature of our football, and that is not the United way. But there is many asterisks. There is the injuries. There is the players being there. So... almost inclined to just say, if we can't get Big Carlo or somebody who's like a top tier manager who we know will come in and steady the ship and do well, and you're just going to take a punt on somebody like Poch, I'm almost inclined to just keep the guy, honestly. Sully Griffin, thank you very much for your highlighted member comment, by the way. Hashtag 8 months for Sully. Big up yourself, Sully. He comments, Pig, nothing but congratulations to you for the win. Anytime City lose, it's good for football. Big respect to Man United for yesterday's performance. Looking forward to watching the games with you and these folks next year. Thank you, Sully, for being a legend this season and hanging around the gaff. We really appreciate you, man. 8 months a legend. Let's get a hashtag 8 in there. Cheers for that, dude. Yeah, well, there you go. I mean, obviously, we've got a really big scalp there against City. Everybody was cheering for us yesterday. Nobody wants that oil money club, that cheating club to win. And we even had loads of comments on the video yesterday from like Liverpool fans and Arsenal fans and everybody just praising us and saying, thank you for beating those City scummers. Everybody hates City now. So, yeah, thank you for that, Sully. Thanks for being a member of the channel. Big up Urbano Valdez as well. Says, would you take David Moyes back? What? What? No, I would not take David Moyes back, lad. Look, I personally think there's a certain thing called the right fit for a club. David Moyes was the right fit for Everton. David Moyes was the right fit for West Ham. David Moyes was not the right fit for Real Sociedad. David Moyes was not the right fit for Manchester United. He's not up to the task of running a big football club like that. I don't think, anyway. Good manager, no doubt a good manager. Obviously a good manager. He got the United job around the first time around for a reason, because he had shown great squad building abilities and just great solidity at Everton for a long time, a big number of years. But I don't think you can go and realistically appoint him now and say that you guaranteed somebody that he's going to do a good job. It could be like a repeat of that. It's just a no. You know, we don't want to go backwards there, mate, I don't think. It's not worth the risk. Mate, Sean, thanks for being a member for 3 years, dude. What? Hashtag 36 months, mate. He's got the Don hat emoji next to him now. Look at that. 36 months. Hashtag 36. I appreciate you, Sean Netterton. Let's all laugh at Leeds. Get in there, Southampton, lad. Absolutely, Sean. Love that, dude. Love that Leeds are not coming back up, mate. Absolutely love that. So happy with that, dude. Yes, get in there. Yes, so that's the thing, isn't it? But let's talk about the candidates, right? So obviously these are the favourites. There were some reports coming out the other day that Kieran McKenna had been approached by Manchester United just to sound the situation out, and if he was interested, we began talks, something along those lines. You can see the top two favourites other than that: Pochettino, Tuchel. A bit further down the list, you've got Thomas Frank there. Well, look, obviously there is lots of reports coming out today, particularly from James Ducker from The Telegraph here, that says that exclusive Manchester United officials have had talks with representatives of Thomas Frank and Pochettino as they continue to explore their options ahead of a final decision on the future of Erik Ten Hag. It follows soundings with McKenna and Tuchel camps. So looks like the top four on that list of potential new managers. Looks like there are reports at least that suggest that we've had these discussions with some of these people, you know. So it does look like at this moment in time, if you believe these reports, that they are still lining up somebody to replace Erik Ten Hag. There were reports that came out before the FA Cup final from The Guardian that Man United had decided to let Erik Ten Hag go regardless of the result of the FA Cup final. Look, nobody really knows. It's obviously down to Ineos. It's down to nobody's had the conversations apart from Ineos and Ten Hag and the owners and the hierarchy of the football club. There's obviously a lot of leaks that come out of Manchester United, but a lot of it is just speculation from these media outlets where they are, trying to come up with articles in regards to getting clicks while there's relevant news. That's a big thing. So look, look, it's Frank, it's Pochettino, it's Tuchel, it's McKenna. Those are the top four. It's Southgate, maybe. Those are the top 4 or 5 potential candidates to take over from Erik Ten Hag at Manchester United. It's a no from me, Carol. I'm just not inspired by any of them. To be fair, Thomas Frank, I think, has done well with Brentford, obviously. I like how they go about it. I like the fact that they score goals. I like the fact that they've overachieved and they've done it with, not the biggest budget. He's built a good squad. He's got a lot of the boxes ticked, the Premier League experience, But it's a huge step up to Manchester United, guys. It's a huge step up. And it's the same as even more of a step up for McKenna. So shit candidates, guys. Shit candidates. That's the reality. We've kind of got some gash candidates there. What we need is big Carlo Ancelotti to swoop in and just go, you know what, I'm leaving Real Madrid. After they've won the Champions League, we just need him to come out and say, I'm announcing that I'm leaving after this glorious win because, I feel like I've achieved everything at this football club. What I want is a real challenge. I want to go over to Manchester United, this team that finished 8th, and sort them out and make Harry Maguire a beast. That's what I want to do. I want to go and take the glory days back to United, which he's not going to do, is he? So, there you go. That's how I feel about it, guys. We'll see. I mean, there's a couple of managers that I personally like, but they don't look like they're very realistic to be joining Man United. I like Eddie Howe. I like Unai Emery. But they're just not... Obviously, Emery's not going anyway. He's just got Champions League football with Villa and signed a new contract. Eddie Howe, Newcastle United, it's a very good club to be at the moment because of the whole, the backing that they've got, the money that they've got. The expectation's not as high. There's big potential for what he could go on and do at Newcastle United. He wouldn't go anywhere anyway. And plus, he's not a winner either. He might be a great manager, which I think he is a good manager and plays good football, but you need to somebody who's a winner at Manchester United because, let's face it, we should be winning things. Ten Hag, 2 trophies, 2 seasons, winner, So, goodness me, what a conundrum we've got this summer anyway to try and find the new manager. All I know is if it was announced tomorrow that Erik Ten Hag had been sacked and we'd have appointed, say, Pochettino, I would be very disappointed. I wouldn't be like, oh, yes, mate, come on, now finally we've got a real coach. I wouldn't feel like that at all. I just feel like we've got one yes man gone for another yes man who's also got a proven track record of being a bit of a melter. Doesn't even win the trophies like Ten Hag does. So I don't have the answers really, guys. I mean, all I know is that the list of suitable candidates to come in just isn't that inspiring. Harry Maguire might want the job. Manager without a proper manager there is like going to put down a big forest fire without proper equipment. Interesting little analogy there, like it. Yep, no one pig, all a gash. Spot on, agreed. So the standout candidates for United would be, that's a good shout, Naz. These are actually very good shouts. Obviously, it looks like Hansi Flick's going to Barcelona as well, but there was a few, Simeone, people talk about Flick, people talk about Inzaghi. I mean, the Inzaghi one I could sort of see maybe. That sort of makes some sense more so than a lot of others, but then there's no Premier League experience there, lad. And then you've got, obviously, you've said Simeone. Well, Simeone is a great coach who would probably get this club playing really robust football in regards to, not conceding goals. Think about all the chances we've conceded this season. Well, he would probably just coach that out of them overnight. Yeah, they would be a solid defensive unit, I'm almost certain. But would we lose something in regards to, the Man United way with somebody like Simeone or Jose or a manager that's got a bit of a, reputation of playing not the most attacking style? I think we would. I think you've got to try and get somebody who at least matches up with the philosophy of Manchester United of playing the right way. So, But yeah, good couple of suggestions there, mate. Good couple of suggestions. Xabi Alonso, what a great suggestion that is. So yeah, I would rather take a punt on somebody like that as opposed to getting a proven mediocre melter like Pochettino or Southgate or Potter. I'd rather take a punt on a Zidane who doesn't have the Premier League experience or a Xabi Alonso because at least you can see they've got potential to maybe be one of the top tier coaches. You can't really deny the season that Xabi Alonso's had, going invincible over in Germany there. Only losing that one game in the Europa final. You've got to say, wow, that is pretty impressive. The way they've gone about it, the style, the goals, the way they've gone about it. Yes, I want a bit of that. But it is, again, still a big step up to go and take the job at Manchester United in the Premier League. And aside from that, he's a full-on ex-Liverpool scumbag. Do you know what I mean? That's the problem there. He's a full-on ex-Liverpool scummer. You can't really have that, can you? It would be crazy. It's like appointing Steven Gerrard as your manager or some shit, that can't happen. It just almost can't happen. I mean, it's not as bad as Gerrard. But, it's almost as bad. And from his point of view, would he even want to take that job because of the history with Liverpool? Would we even want him to take the job because he's an ex-pin dipper? Big question, isn't it? I just don't really think that you can realistically assume that he's even on the list. I don't even think he's being looked at due to the Liverpool scummer vibes. That does mean something, guys. It really does. Hey, get in there, the Cake Cadet. Thank you for the super chat here. Thank you so much there, Cake Cadet. He says, have some of that City scummers. Let's go, mate. Still buzzing my tits off. Bzz, bzz. What an unbelievable result. What a victory. What a performance as well from the lads. We actually were better than City. That's the thing as well. It's not just like we won a lucky game of football. No, we're actually better than City. We did absolutely outclass them. Tactics were spot on. Ten Hag got it absolutely right. You know, the pressure and the smothering of them when they got to our third, to not allow them to play their football that they do and just pick those little through balls out and getting behind us was amazing. Those the tactics that Ten Hag put out there yesterday, as in, you know, the real intense press when they got to us, the swift counter-attacking. It was a really great way to set us up to win that game. We were never going to have all the possession and outplay them in that sense. They had like 75% possession, but it's not really the most important thing. It's about chances created. They were actually quite crap at that. Like, and it's because of us, not because of them. We nullified them from our defensive positions. We absolutely bullied them, and we didn't really allow them chance. I mean, how many chances did Haaland have? He did hit the woodwork, to be fair. He hit the bar. But other than that, he was basically just like marked out of the game, mate, you know? He really was. It was sensational. Sensational from our defence. So, yeah, incredible from us. Nice one, Vutinator. Thank you. Says we've got 141 likes. Thank you so much to Vutinator. Let's go, lad. 141 likes. Thank you so much, bro, for getting in there. Everyone who smashed the like button, keep hitting the likes. Let's try and get 200 on the stream. Smash the subscribe button if you're new. We're nearly at 82,300 subs. Get yourself subscribed. It is working, Madhouse, I believe. Yeah, I mean, obviously I am here talking a little bit, so sometimes I miss some of the super chats. What have I missed? Oh shit, I have missed one here. Chev, thank you so much. I'm sorry, Chev Isaac, mate, for missing your super chat. He says, big love from New Zealand. Brought much joy for me this year, mate. Big up yourself there from New Zealand, lad. We got somebody watching from New Zealand. I don't know if we've ever had anybody watching from New Zealand, lad, in the chat. That's strange, isn't it? You think we definitely would, but I don't remember one person ever commenting before saying they're watching from NZ, lad, which is kind of weird. but honestly, you might be the only one, Chev. Get in there, Chev. You're a legend, lad. Thank you for joining us from all the way in New Zealand, my son. That's lovely. It's absolutely lovely. Also, Schweppes Lemon, I missed a super chat from you as well that says, hi, mate, think you'll do Euro streams next month? Definitely, I'm going to be doing Euro games, all the Euro games. Literally streams for every single game, mate. 3 a day to begin with. While there's 3 a day on, I'm going to be doing 3. I'm going to be doing all the Euro games, mate. 100%, yeah. This Manchester City fan's a scummer, isn't he? Yeah, nice one. Madhouse, there he is. I missed your comment there, lad. He says, Ten Hag is officially a serial winner now. Keep. Mate, fair play to you, Madhouse. Thank you so much for getting in here with your comments there. That's much appreciated, lad. Get in. Right, I've caught up with the super chat, so I apologise for that, guys. I just missed him there. I was talking absolutely too much words, wasn't I? I was talking too many words there. Apologies. McKenna won't last 6 months at United. Yeah, no, that's it. I mean, big gamble, isn't it, going for somebody with such little experience at the top level. Does deserve credit for the job he's done at Ipswich, but man, what a crazy appointment that would be if we decided to go and get him. And if you're looking at all of the candidates and the most realistic, like who's got the shortest odds with the bookmakers, apparently McKenna is the favourite for the job at the moment, which I think is just plain wrong. I mean, if we sacked off Ten Hag, who's won 2 trophies in 2 years and appointed an Ipswich town manager, who's only got Gulf Championship experience other than obviously coaching our youth setups and stuff, it just doesn't really scream success in the short term anyway, personally. But yeah. Right, let me catch up here, guys. We've got 3 reposts so far, guys. Click the link at the top of the live chat on Twitter there. Give us a repost. Repost the stream. It will help us out. Cheers for that. Paul as well says, tell a Marine officer that injuries don't matter when half his force is in sickbay. Injuries matter, and they hamstringed United. Okay, Paul, fair one. I get you. No, getting a bit deep over there, Paul, lad. But no, fair one. I mean, the only thing is that, yes, we have had insane injuries, and it would be nice to see what Ten Hag can do with this Manchester United side, obviously, if we were able to keep players fit and he actually had a full roster to choose from. Definitely that would be the case. And in terms of just individual injury spells last season, I think we had 41 separate cases of injuries throughout the season, which was more than anybody in the league. So, yeah, it is going to affect you. But what's the reasons for that, though? Is the reasons for that because we just got a bunch of injury-prone melters? Is it because, I don't know, that the training sessions are too intense? Is it because the medical staff are gash? I don't know, to be honest with you. Is it just bad luck? Not too sure, mate, but it's a fair point. It would be really interesting to see what Ten Hag would have been able to do with this United side this season if everybody stayed fit. Because that game against Manchester City was an indicator of how you can play if you've got the personnel to play. Because, you know, the lineup on paper was strong and they performed strong. So, good point. I like your style. You think Paul is right? Yeah, fair one, Sambo. But this is what I'm saying. This is why I'm saying it's almost got to the point now where unless there is a big Carlo Ancelotti, unless there is an Unai Emery, if you're just talking about McKenna, Pochettino, Potter or Southgate as your next manager, I'd rather just roll the dice a little bit, take a chance on Erik Ten Hag and see what he can do for a few months of the season while, you know, having no excuses of players being out injured, you know? And obviously, okay, I understand the argument from, like, not wanting to spend money on a manager who might not longer be there and who has literally failed you the last season domestically, apart from, obviously, the FA Cup, but failed you from a football standpoint. Do you want to back him and give him the money? Like, I wouldn't necessarily want him to spend a lot of money this summer. You might want to give him a chance. It'd probably be like Jose's last season in the summer, where they just spend a little amount and it's like, yeah, this is your last chance, Ten Hag, lad. You know, you're not going to spend 200 million on players because we're not going to back somebody who's had such a shite season. So it's on you to get the best of what you've got, basically. I don't know if that's the right way to approach it because I feel like this summer is the summer of a clear out. This summer is the summer of signing 10 new players. This is the summer where you've got to get rid of Martial and Maguire and Lindo and some of these players that have been decent, but they're just not really top tier and we need a lot better players. And there's loads beyond that as well that need to go. So fire sale is needed. Exactly, Malps. Fire sale is needed. So, but if you're going to have a fire sale, then you need to go out there and recruit loads of players this summer, which means that you've got to back Ten Hag with hundreds of millions of pounds potentially. And last season he signed Andre Onana, who we didn't really need because of David De Gea being a better option. He also signed Mason Mount for 60 million the season before that. He signed Anthony Dos Santos, who got 3 goals this whole last season in 40 games. So you're backing somebody potentially with a lot of money who's got a track record of signing some duffers, to be honest. You know, he's also signed Martinez, though, who looks like an unbelievable talent, but he's also signed some duffers. So if I was Ineos, I would be very reluctant to back him fully this summer. I'd almost just say, if you were going to stick with him, here's 50 million, lad. Sell players and buy players using the money generated. But other than that, we're not going to spend hundreds of millions on you because, you know, you've got a bit of a shit track record, lad. It's that simple. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, well, there you go, superstar. Ten Hag said medical team told him in December that he'd have Shaw back by New Year. Shows you the kind of medical team we have. Fair enough. Yeah. Well, that's because they had him on the Frey Bentos diet, lad, and they thought that he would respond well to it, but it just didn't really go that way, did it? Mike Hill, sorry, bro, I missed your super chat earlier. Oh, man. What an absolute amateur, lad. He says, sacking Erik Ten Hag for McKenna is like throwing out your Armani jeans and going to Tesco's for them instead. My super chat you missed earlier. Mate, Mike Hill, thank you for your super chat. Sorry I missed that. Do you know what, though? Listen, Mike. Expensive isn't always better, right? I made this mistake once. There's a little story from when I was like 19. Get this. So I went on a works party one night. I was working at this... this doing telesales, whatever, some shite job. But there was a works party one night, like Christmas party or something. It wasn't a Christmas party, it's just some random party, right? It was at Bowlplex, bowling, yeah. And I just thought, I don't know, I just got paid. I was a young fucking teenager. I decided I'd never buy designer stuff. Never have done before that, never have done since. The reason is, I bought these Gucci jeans, right? These fucking Gucci jeans. I can't remember how much they were. I think they're like 130 fucking quid or something, right? Which is an insane amount of money, especially back then for a teenager, to spend on some shitty trousers, okay? Well, what happens when I bowl the first bowl with all of the staff members there at work? What happens? What do you think happens, guys, that night when I'm bowling and my training leg swings round? You know, I'm like fucking Earl McCracken from Kingpin, mate. My right leg swung right, I'm fucking get that spin on it. What happens? The crotch rips all the way fucking down. And then I'm there in the fucking bowling gaff all night with everyone from work, and I've just got my underpants on display with a big fucking hole in my crotch. Right? Gucci jeans are shit, lad. Don't buy Gucci jeans ever, mate, ever. Okay? Now, all I'm saying is, more money is not better, necessarily. I think that's fair to say. Like, basically, think of Anthony Dos Santos as a pair of Gucci jeans. You know? That's kind of what you need to think about, really. Anthony Dos Santos, 85 million euros. But he's shite, lad. He's ripped in the crotch. He's only got the one leg, and he's just not very good, is he? So that's kind of what I'm saying there. It's like, it just... I know what you're saying, but yeah, I agree, though. We can't go and get McKenna. To Ten Hag, that's not the one. There's a few managers potentially that are big enough for this job, but most of them just aren't. Primani Jeans Crown Jewels came out. Oh man, I'll never forgive my my ex-boss at the time. His name was Tim. I'll never forgive him either, because obviously the damage had already been done. But later on, about 2 hours later on, I was stood at the bar getting a drink, and he just comes up behind me and thought it would be a funny idea to just rip them further, mate. So he just grabbed them from the underside, behind me, and ripped them, and then literally had a rip all the way down to my knee on one side of my trousers. What a wanker. Anyway, enough about that. So yeah, literally was just stood in the bowling place all night with my inner thigh out and my pants all night long. Unbelievable. Basically sums up our season, really, guys. Like we had a season like a ripped pair of Gucci pants. But in the end, we got the trophy, lads, and that's all that counts. Right, let's just cover a couple of more things here, guys, that I wanted to discuss. So, look, obviously the next manager odds, we've gone through that. Duck has reported that we're talking to Frank and Pochettino on the back of talking to managers like McKenna and who else? Thomas Tuchel. But there was a question bandied at Sir Jim Ratcliffe. You might have seen the little video. Some reporters said after the game and asked him, what's the future of Erik Ten Hag? And basically, Sir Jim Ratcliffe just ignored the question completely, just didn't say anything. So, look, I mean, it's interesting because perhaps if his intention was to... Obviously, he's not going to discuss that right now. This is a matter for the board, for the hierarchy, for the club to decide after going through it with a fine-tooth comb and weighing up all the pros and cons. As I've said, there's a lot of pros with Ten Hag. He's here now already. He's already got a good unity with the squad. You see, yesterday, it seems like the players want to play for him and they like him. It's not like they, there's lots and lots of issues in terms of the squad. I think he's developed the youth well. There's a lot. There is a lot of pros with Ten Hag. He's won 2 trophies in 2 years. There's a lot of pros. There's also a lot of cons. The style of football's been shite. The money spent has been a lot, and it's not been spent well. The players he signed, 50% of them again. The -1 goal difference, the 8th place finish, the knockout of the Champions League group stage. There's a lot of negatives as well. So they've got to decide for really who is what is the best thing to do with Erik Ten Hag, and not just a knee-jerk decision. But you would have thought if they'd have already decided that Erik Ten Hag was the guy for them, then maybe there would have been some sort of a response from Sir Jim Ratcliffe yesterday, or something you would think. But because there wasn't, because he's literally just given the cold shoulder, I guess he's not really going to do that anyway. It's not really his place to to say that, is it? But it was just a little bit telling. I think it basically just means that the decision has not been made yet, personally. I know The Guardian were reporting that Ten Hag was going to be sacked off, but I don't think the decision was made beforehand. Jarvis Jarvis says those Gucci jeans are just giving off Major Ross from Friends leather pants vibes. Oh, dude, that would have been way better, actually. The leather pants they can't get back on. At least they could have maybe got some talcum powder, like he did, and try to get them on, or at least wait until they weren't so moist. Perhaps stand in the toilet with them underneath the dryer, and make sure I could get them on again. I know, rather than just having a totally open crotch, mate. There's no coming back from that. You know what I mean? Ten Hag makes white socks with a black suit cool. Go on, Ryan, mate. That's it now. That's what we care about. Hey, Luan France, what's going on? Maybe so corrupted. Well, this is it. Maybe you're right. If you believe what The Guardian said before the FA Cup final, maybe you're right. And honestly, before the FA Cup final, I'd have said he's absolute odds on to be sacked, because he has had a shite season. Let's be real. But because he's won us the cup, it just puts a cat amongst the pigeons for whether or not he's a winner. He's a winner, guys. He won us the League Cup last year. He's won us the FA Cup this year. Like, that is impressive, especially when you've had a shit season. It salvaged us a trophy. Arsenal haven't got a trophy this season. Arsenal were brilliant this season. Arsenal only finished 2 points behind City. They were really good. Still haven't got a trophy to show for it, though. So there's something to be said for just having that winner's mentality. Then again, we of course saw when Louis van Gaal was at the football club and he won the FA Cup, he was sacked. He was sacked, so maybe they will do this. But, you know, if they were going to do it, I mean, I know... So last time out, when it was Louis van Gaal, guys, remind me. I'm pretty sure they sacked him the very next day, didn't they? I'm pretty sure, right? I'm pretty sure it was the very next day. Or was it even that evening? Mate, hang on. Was it that evening? Or was it the next day? It was either that evening or it was the next day. It was literally like just after. So... they haven't done that today. I was sort of half expecting. Yeah, that's it. He was sacked immediately, wasn't he, Arctic Jacko? Yeah. So it was like, we've won the FA Cup, same day or the next day, you're gone. Well, they haven't done that today with Erik Ten Hag. There's no announcement. There's no announcement from the football club. They certainly haven't got rid of him just as of yet. Are they waiting until tomorrow? Are they just waiting for everyone to enjoy the FA Cup win this time? Maybe they learned something from that last time around, because it was pretty classless. I do think it's quite classless to sack a manager the next day or the same day as of winning the FA Cup for you. That's quite classless. So maybe they're just waiting a few days for the dust to settle on the FA Cup victory, and then they are indeed going to sack him. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But it's all up in the air at the moment, guys. Hey, Berber, what's going on, lad? He says getting rid of Erik Ten Hag's like Max Verstappen swapping his car for a go-kart halfway through a race. Well, it depends who you get rid of him for, doesn't it? If you get rid of him for McKenna, it is kind of like swapping it for a go-kart, mate, definitely, or a shopping trolley. You know what I mean? Supermarket sweep vibes. Supermarket sweep. Smash a one if you remember. But anyway, no, I'm with you as well. Like, unless you're going to get one of the big name proven managers or somebody who's got a bit of bollocks about them and they're just not really available, whether it's, you know, an Unai Emery or a Carlo Ancelotti or a Zidane, then you're taking a gamble on these melters being prepared to step up to a big club like United. McKenna, Frank, Pochettino, even Tuchel. You know, Tuchel's season at Bayern, shite lad. And we want that, do we? No, it's a no from me. So, yeah, I'm with you, really. Unless you're going to go and replace him with Lewis Hamilton. Unless you're going to replace Max Verstappen with Lewis Hamilton or, you know, Michael Schumacher in his prime. There's no point, is there? There's really no point. Completely agree with that. Big up, everyone. Hey, what's going on, Stephen? You've missed a lot, lad. Yep, Luan, fair point as well, says, I think we're too quick to cast our managers aside. The definition of insanity is doing something over and over and expect a different result. True, but isn't that almost like saying we should sack Ten Hag then, that statement? Because think about how gash we were this whole season. Take the FA Cup campaign out of it. You know, what about the Champions League display? What about the Premier League display? Over a 38-game Premier League season as well. 30 points behind City. You know, so if that's the case, isn't that insanity to want more of that? I don't know. Hassan Tariq says there's more people here than the City parade. Yeah, man, I know. Hamilton, he is a fraud. How can you say he's a fraud, though, mate? If you actually look at his record of, like, Grand Prix wins and just championship wins and things over the years in terms of percentages of the races that he's competed in and stuff. I mean, I'm no big F1 fan, but even I know that his record holds up very favourably with all the best drivers of all time in terms of just percentage of Grand Prix won and Grand Prix victories, etc. So, you know, you're being a bit harsh there, lad. I think you're being a bit harsh there, lad. Anyway... right, I'm going to get into the live chat now, guys. We've got 300 legends in it. Everyone smash the thumbs up button. Get yourself subscribed if you want to get in the chat. We're going to get into the live chat now for a few minutes and see what your legends are saying. But just a quick rundown of what we've discussed in this video for anyone who's just joining us right now. Garnacho's won the goal of the season for his overhead kick. Unbelievable scenes. It was against Everton, wasn't it? Yeah, that was an unbelievable overhead kick. Of course he was going to get goal of the season. Big up Alejandro Garnacho. What a season from him. And he's rightfully got that gong of the goal of the season. Let's go. Kobbie Mainoo stats here for the FA Cup final. Unbelievable. Just what a player. The two youngsters in our team this season, I think probably the two best performers, certainly in terms of exceeding expectations, like, you know, Garnacho and Mainoo. These guys are incredible. Amrabat's future is kind of up in the air, but he's been speaking and said that staying at United is certainly an option. We are going to talk. Manchester United are the biggest club in the world, so who wouldn't want to play football here? I think we should probably just make him a permanent player based on recent weeks. If you'd have asked me that question a month ago, I'd have said, what's the point? He's kind of sus. But actually, he has looked brilliant for us, and if you utilise him in his right position, like yesterday, you know, in that double pivot there, I think you've got a real player. I think the problem with playing him earlier on the season is he was just asked to do loads of different roles and jobs for us, and I think his best role is just that destroyer in midfield who, you know, gets the ball and plays it, wins the ball and plays it. I think he was fantastic at that. The amount of you know, ball possession wins that he made yesterday was tremendous. Pep Guardiola speaking about Martinez, calling him one of the top 5 centre-backs in the world. You've also said that Bruno Fernandes is one of the most creative players in the world. Pep Guardiola also reports coming out about him that he may be leaving Manchester City in a year's time. Get in there, my son. Hopefully he pisses off sooner rather than later, lad. But yeah, before the sink ships, or the ship sinks, I should say. Also, next manager odds here, guys. The shortest odds are for that of Kieran McKenna, Pochettino, Tuchel and Southgate, which means might as well just stick with Ten Hag, to be honest with you guys, because McKenna is a really, really risky option with a huge step up. Pochettino's proven bang average mediocre melt, and the same can be said for almost everybody else on that list as well. There's a few manager options there with maybe a bit of bollocks behind them. Like for instance, I think Amorim is a potentially good manager, but it's still coming over from the Portuguese league to the Premier League, and come on, big difference. Also, James Ducker reporting that we've had official talks with representatives of Thomas Frank and Pochettino, and they continue to explore their options ahead of a final decision on the future of Erik Ten Hag. Follow soundings with McKenna and Tuchel camp. So it does look like those 4 managers we discussed are the most likely. McKenna, Tuchel, Pochettino, Thomas Frank. Don't like any of them really, guys. Don't like any of them. And then also, I didn't even mention this actually, but Ten Hag talking after the game, sort of Jose Mourinho vibes with his response when asked about his future and whether or not he thinks that he's going to stay, etc. He said this: 2 trophies in 2 seasons and 3 finals. Not bad. If they don't want me anymore, I'll go somewhere else and win trophies. That's what I do. So sort of Mourinho-esque vibes there when it comes to the comments from Erik Ten Hag. I mean, look, I'm very torn on this, I kind of think, fair play to you, Ten Hag. You have got 2 trophies in 2 years. But then the other part of me thinks, what a shit season. 8th place guff. Or the style of football is absolutely abhorrent. Yeah, maybe there's other factors like injuries, etc. But wow, what an awful Manchester United team this season. The worst I've seen in my lifetime. Genuinely, throughout the course of a whole season. Still managed to win the FA Cup, though. And that was an amazing campaign, an amazing run, and amazing performances in a lot of those games, i.e. the Liverpool game in the final. But all the other games this season in the Champions League and the Premier League, a lot of them anyway, guff. So part of me just thinks, well, papering over the cracks a little bit with that FA Cup final, guys. Papering over the cracks with the FA Cup win. Because if we'd have lost that, he can't really say anything. He can't really say anything like this, can he? But again, the right candidate just perhaps doesn't exist at this moment in time. So maybe just give him a little bit of the chance for the start of the season and just see if it's down to injury problems why we were shite. And once he's had a bit of a fire sale and cleared out a lot of the players that are from the previous regime that are just gash and got in new players, then maybe he could do things differently. But then the devil on my shoulder says, no, that's bullshit, mate. He signed Andre Onana for 50 mil, who's suspect. He signed Anthony Santos for 85 million, who's fucking gash. He signed Mason Mount for 60 odd million, who's fucking turgid. So what a conundrum. Anyway, let's get into the live chat, guys. Thank you, everyone, for getting in here with your comments. We're going to just try and read out as many people's comments as possible in the next 10 minutes or so. So have your say. Smash the likes, smash the subscribe, and get your thoughts in there. Paul S. with a super chat says, maybe Rasmus will get some service next season. Jesus couldn't get across this season, and he's Jesus. Paul S., thank you very much for that blasphemous comment, lad. I appreciate you. Nice one there. Very much, Paul. Thank you. That's true. I mean, actually, Rasmus, feeding off scraps a lot of the time this season, had a very good season. What a baller he is as well, like a very good player. Look at his great play coming on the pitch yesterday. Just was faultless for the time he was on the pitch as well. Brilliant. So, yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of respect for some of the signings that Ten Hag has made, such as Rasmus Højlund and obviously the Butcher Martinez. These are great signings for the football club long term. Can't argue with that, really. I also have to respect what he's done with the youth development of the club, players like Kobbie Mainoo and Garnacho. But then you also have to look at 50% of his signings being gash. Yeah. Fair enough, Leighton. He says, beaten cheaty scumbags deserves to stay even if guff season. Yeah, okay, it's one game or a few games, though. Does that change the course of a 38-game season? Isn't it more telling to analyse what's happened over the 38-game season than it is just a cup run, though? That's the point I'm making. Like, stylistically, I'm just playing devil's advocate a little bit here, by the way, but just stylistically speaking, the team was awful. So unless that's going to change, You know, unless there is really going to be a big emphasis on the way we play changing, i.e. not concede anywhere near those goals. I guess the personnel being fit would help, but unless we're going to see big differences, it's just going to be more of the same. Alfie says, good evening, my brother. I hope you're doing okay, G. Good to see you on yesterday, bro. I'm so proud of you and the community, G. So what do you think the club will do about the manager, mate? Thank you, Alfie Maturi. Cheers for that, dude. Yeah, what a day. What do I think they'll do? I think they're going to get rid this summer still. I think they will sack him personally because, well, if you believe these reports, we're talking to other managers. Would we really be doing that if they were going to be sticking with Erik Ten Hag? They're discussing other managers. I mean, he spent a lot of money. Ineos probably want to spend money this summer on a new regime. You know, they probably want to come in and try and make an impact by shipping a lot of players out and signing a lot of new players. And if you're going to do that, you have to sort of have faith in who's spending your money, to be perfectly honest. And he has got a 50% hit rate of gash. So I don't know, man. A fresh start's what's needed at this football club. Do you get the biggest fresh start by getting rid of as many players as you can and the coaching staff and the manager? Perhaps. Or can you just still have a big fresh start by getting rid of just all the gash player personnel and sticking with Ten Hag and then this time backing him fully and seeing what happens? I mean, honestly, I don't know what's best here, guys. If Ancelotti was available, I'd sack Ten Hag tonight and put Carlo in charge, because I know we're getting a better manager who's proven to come in and, you know, has an unbelievable winner's record and can do it at loads of different clubs and has bags of experience and bags of respect and comes with that big name to attract the best players, etc., 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 etc. But, you know, Tuchel ain't my guy. Thomas Frank ain't my guy. You know, none of these managers. McKenna, as much as I think in the future he could be a candidate, right now he's nowhere near the United job for me. And he's apparently the favourite with the bookmakers. So, you know, McKenna's 4-5 at the moment as next Manchester United manager. That's ridiculously low odds. Pochettino's 2-1. So those two favourites, I'll put it out there, I would much rather keep Erik Ten Hag than appoint McKenna or Pochettino. And those are the two favourites at the moment to take the job. So I would personally, if you can't get a big manager that's required for a big club like United and do this tough job, I'd be more inclined just to give Ten Hag a chance. Which almost goes against a lot of what I've said this season. But I only want him to go if we're going to get somebody better. And I'm not convinced that these people on this list are going to be better. I think it's just another case of chopping and changing managers every couple of years, the managerial merry-go-round, and it might just be repeating the process of repeating the cycle of guff we've seen over years. Maybe it's just a case of, you know, we've got to keep on digging. Keep on digging with Erik Ten Hag for a little bit longer. We just might strike gold, you know? Yeah, there you go. Any of them on the list, keep one more season. Would you sell Garnacho? Never, mate. Never. I would not sell him for any money. I think he's just a pure United player, mate. Love the guy. Absolutely love him. Mate, thank you, Johnny, for the super chat. Says the named candidates are shite. It's a tricky one. Exactly there, Johnny. Yeah, so if that list was, you know, Zidane, Ancelotti, Emery, whatever, then okay, fair enough. Let's try and get one of these top coaches, but it's not. The managers linked to us are shite. Erik Ten Hag tactics make me want to not live anymore. Fucking hell, steady on there, Ravens man. Crikey. I mean, the tactics were awful this season. Yeah, they were awful. Apart from a few games, they were absolutely abysmal. So, yeah, let's not pretend that he was good throughout the rest of the campaign. It was just the FA Cup campaign that's been good for us. Yeah, we've done it for 10 years. No more players out before the manager. Fair play to United 90 lad. If Ten Hag stays, I dread to think who will sign next summer. That's the question, isn't it? That's the key, isn't it? Yeah. Are you going to expect him to sign great players, or is it going to be another 50% gash, 50% good hit rate? That's not good enough. Zane Miassi in here, guys. Let's all laugh at Arsene Holland's not having any trophies. Sorry I missed that, Zane. Let's scroll up here, lad. Thank you very much for getting in here with a raw one. By the way, Vutinator says we've got 192 likes. We're so close to 200 likes, guys. Keep hitting the thumbs ups. It's free. Zamiasi, here he is. He says, who's the new manager, Piggy? Bet we finish higher. Bet you finish higher? Yeah, well, I mean, in all fairness, Arsenal's squad at the moment is pretty good. You did finish almost 30 points ahead of Manchester? Yeah, 30 points ahead of Manchester United this season. Are we expecting Manchester United to be able to cut down 30 points overnight between this season and next season? Probably not, to be honest. But Did you win any trophies though, Zane? That's what I want to know. Or is it just another season where you've been good on the eye, you've looked good, but fundamentally you've ended up in just a world of hurt, lad? You know? It's another bottle. I told you this, Zane Miassi. I told you this would happen. I told you you'd be great. I told you you'd go far. But I also said that you're just fundamentally a bunch of bottle jobs, lad, and you just won't win anything. I called it. It was easy to call, to be honest. It's not exactly a hard prediction, is it? That Arsenal don't win jack all because they're shite. But you didn't. You didn't win anything, whereas we did win an FA Cup. So, in a way, it's almost like pointless finishing higher. Unless you're going to win something, unless you're finishing first and winning the Premier League, it's almost kind of pointless, bud. So, I think really the question is, bet we win more trophies than you, lad. That's what I bet. Maybe you'll finish higher, but I bet we win more than you, lad, in terms of actual meaningful competitions. Because you're shite. And who's the new manager? Well, we don't know yet, bro. Obviously, the next manager odds would say that McKenna's one of the most favourites. You've got Thomas Frank's a favourite, Thomas Tuchel, Pochettino, Southgate, De Zerbi, Amorim. A whole bunch of mediocre candidates, really. Or not necessarily mediocre candidates. It's either candidates that are a little bit mediocre, or like Southgate or Potter or whatever, or it's candidates who are, sort of unproven in the Premier League either as well, like the Amorims of this world. So I don't think there's a clear candidate to be the next United manager, really. Arsenal fans getting conned. Erik Ten Hag, Lego head. Get in there, Berberlad. Bringing those trophies, though, isn't he? There you go. Look at that. 2 cups. He's also got us Europa League qualification. He's also got us into the Community Shield as well. Chance for another bit of silverware, guys, Yeah, there you go, Reece Gary Smith. Exactly, mate. I just say what's on my mind personally, I'm not devoid of a little bit of fickleness myself, Sometimes a win like that in the FA Cup final can just make you question things. Literally a week ago, I'd have said, get rid of Ten Hag tomorrow and appoint Bill from Bill and Ben the Flower Pot Men. We'd have a better chance. But he's won us 2 trophies 2 years. It does. Yeah, exactly. Tommy Boyle, lad. He says silverware or second. Enough said. Exactly. It does mean something if you can get those trophies won. Is there any point Arsenal being in the UCL? Definitely not. Exactly. They're just taking up a place that somebody else might be able to occupy and maybe go on and win it. We know Arsenal are just going to pot on it fundamentally. So it's almost just pointless having them in the Champions League. Remnants, thank you for your comments. As I think most Newcastle fans will thank Man United for preventing them playing in the Aurora Conference League, and even more so for Chelsea taking their place. Fair enough. I mean, okay, I'm surprised about that. I would have thought Newcastle would have wanted some European football. Then again, it is gash European football, and it does kind of detract from perhaps your domestic campaign, just where you've got a lot more games to cover. I, for one, I know I was a bit nonchalant about the Europa League, but I, for one, am buzzing the fact that we have got the Europa League, guys. I think it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant for us, the fact that we've got European football. I know it's not Champions League, but I'd rather have some European football than not. Just to be honest. So, yeah. Yes, get in there. Jarvis Cocker says Arsenal's like that suave dude who comes home with a pocket full of numbers after a night out. Meanwhile, Man United's that average guy who somehow lucked out with the prettiest girl without any game. Jarvis, please tell me about this average guy who's getting the prettiest girl, mate. I need some tips. You know what I mean? I'm joking. But to be fair, I am that guy. Anyway, Jarvis, thank you so much, you legend, for being a legend throughout the season, by the way. Absolute hero. You're a hero of mine, lad. Let's go, Jarvis Cocker. Ian Warnock's better than most on that list. Stuart Zegman, mate, thank you for the $20 super chat, lad. See. Cheers for that. He says, NYC neutral here. I've heard that the shithouse Glazers are the true issue for your club. That's absolutely right. And it's still 75% shithouse owned, yes? Could any manager have got you to near the top this year during the change in ownership? I've got to be honest. I do think that certain managers would have done better this season with Manchester United, yeah. Because although we did have a lot of injury issues and some of the players we signed weren't great. Imagine if we'd have spent that 200 million that we spent in the summer on successful players, all successful players. I know Højlund was a good signing, but the other ones this season really sort of failed to impress, and it's kind of money wasted in a lot of ways. Like Mason Mount, you're never going to convince me he's good enough to be Manchester United starter, and he was 60 mil. Or in fact, Onana as well. I still think we need a new number 1 in this summer. I know he has done a lot better recently. And he had a really good game yesterday. Let's just give credit to Onana, because he doesn't get a lot of credit, actually. But he was really good, apart from he still showed, some dodginess in the goal that they scored. It should have been a clean sheet for him, really, because that goal that we conceded from the Doku shot was it was a bit of shitty goalkeeping there, lad. Old Biscuit Wrists himself strikes again. Do you know what I mean? It's true. He's not the most convincing, so I still think we need a new number one. But anyway, to answer your question, I do think that a different manager, perhaps if they'd assigned different players with a different approach, different mentality, different tactics, I'm sure they could have done better than Ten Hag this season, because we finished 8th with a -1 goal difference. It's that simple. And that's about as bad as you should ever expect to do ever as a Manchester United manager, surely. With all the resources and the money spent and the players that we have. So I kind of feel like there probably is a lot of managers who could have done better this season for us, to be perfectly honest. But it is 75% shithouse owned still, yep. The Glazers, they're still here. They still have that stranglehold. This is what this summer's going to be about. Is it going to be a true summer of change with Ineos coming in and taking over the football operations? Or does that just mean that, the Glazers have been enabled to stay here, keep their stranglehold on the football club? There's more fingers in more pies now, and they're still going to just siphon this club dry of money and life and not really give a shit. Like, this is the question. Are we going to see a big change in emphasis on how this club's run from Ineos? That's what we need. If they do that, then the Glazers can be satellite owners far away. If they've actually got people in charge now who are making the football decisions and they're good at their jobs and they get this club progressing in the right direction, that means recruitment, scouting, improving everything, facilities being upgraded. If we're actually making the right steps, okay, fair play. It doesn't necessarily matter if they still own the lion's share, as long as the right footballing decisions are being made. But that's a big if. Are we going to see that? This is what this season's all about. We'll see if Ineos are able to guide us better than the shithouse Glazers were, because they did an absolutely terrible job. Yeah, exactly, Paul Story. You can buy trophies. Absolutely, Paul Story, lad. You can buy trophies, but you can't beat history and tradition. City will always be in our shadow. Damn right, lad. Say Miyasi, another super chat, is it? Say Miyasi, lad, what's your problem, dude? Say Miyasi says, we are getting Sky. Sorry, I Sky. We're getting I Sky. What poems are you getting? Oh, you're getting I Sky, are you? I Sky with My Little Eye poem. Nice. I think we're getting If by Rudyard Kipling this summer, mate. See me, Assy, your spelling and your fucking autocorrect and your fucking you're just terrible at writing, aren't you, mate? That's what you're saying. So I can only assume you mean we're getting Isaac. What players are you getting? Is that what you mean? I don't know, lad. I can only assume that's what you mean there, bro. Who knows, mate? Who knows? Who knows, lad? Who knows? Who the fuck knows? We're going to get into it this summer. Don't worry. We'll be covering all the latest transfer news on the channel, but who really knows? We've got a lot of positions need strengthening. Obviously, Varane's going. I could imagine us maybe going to get in something like Branthwaite. Perhaps you could see something like Elise come in. We obviously need another central midfielder, in my opinion, as well. Who knows what's going to happen with Casemiro? Maybe he stays. Thing is with Cassie is like the amount of money that he gets paid, unless Saudi Arabian team or something's going to want him. He's not really going to get a contract like he's got at United anywhere else now, unless it's in Saudi. So we might have to stick with Casemiro. So there's loads of players need to go, like Maguire, Martial, potentially, Rashford even could be realistically sold this summer. You never know, probably not, but you never know. Look, there's too many. There's so many players we need to sign, mate. But we'll cover it this summer. Don't you worry about that. Nice one, Rushmono. Yeah, I saw this earlier actually. Exclusive. Chelsea no longer considering Kieran McKenna as next head coach. 38-year-old an early favourite. Actually, sorry, I didn't see it from Ornstein. I saw somewhere else, but this is from Ornstein. Admired by Chelsea, but not among final candidates. Yeah, that's it. He's just not got the experience, mate, for a job like that. Jazzy says, I think you're overlooking Kieran McKenna's piggy record as Ipswich Town manager. Games 131 was. I'm actually not, bro. I'm not overlooking it at all. I've said he's done a tremendous job at Ipswich. What's even more amazing about his job at Ipswich is if you compare what he spent to what the other top teams spent who got promoted, he spent a fraction of what they spent. So not only was he able to go in there and change their fundamentals and coach them to be a better team with more or less what they had and sign, real players, real good players and real good signings frugally and show lots of good qualities to be a manager. He had a great season, but it's the Championship, lad. It's Ipswich fucking Town. No, that's crazy, mate. Where do you draw the line? Are we interested in looking at, a League Two manager's record because he's got 100% win rate or something. It's just bollocks, isn't it? You have to have the experience at the top level, or at least on the way up to the top level, to be a Manchester United manager. You can't be appointed manager of Manchester United coming from the fucking Championship, lad. You can't. That's insane. It's insane. So you have to work your way up the managerial ladder like anybody else, and McKenna's not ready. Abano Valdez says, but are any of you forklift certified? I'm not forklift certified myself, no. Sorry, I won't be able to move any pallets for you, lad. Sorry about that, Abano Valdez. This truly is of Man United fan therapy. It kind of is, isn't it, Marty McFly, lad? Yeah, very good shout. They had 69% and sold 13%. That's the one. Yeah, that's it. So, yeah, you got the figures there. United, getting there, Paul Story. To be fair, De Gea made mistakes also. Don't forget what he's like at the start. It really annoys me when people say this, though, about De Gea at the start. De Gea was an 18-year-old little wiry, skinny melt with physicality issues at the start. His issues were not shot-stopping. His issues were not biscuit wrists. Do you know what I mean? His issue when he first came in was the fact that he was a teenage kid and that he was up against mad, strong forwards in the most physical league in the world, and he was actually struggling mostly from, like, the set pieces side of things, the claiming the ball side of things, the physicality side of things. He wasn't struggling in terms of his shot stopping. He was struggling from a physical point of view. Well, guess what? He was an 18-year-old little whippersnapper lad. As soon as he grew into it a bit, as soon as he put on a bit of muscle, you know, and got a little bit stronger, he was absolutely spot on. You can't compare Andre Onana to David De Gea. Andre Onana's come in as a 27-year-old physical specimen. He's not some 18-year-old spotty little twat. That's the difference. You know, so, look, you can't even compare Onana to De Gea. De Gea is 10 times the goalkeeper that Onana is, in my opinion, in just terms of goalkeeping, keeping goal, stopping the goals going in. He's 10 times the goalkeeper. Not to say Onana can't go on and do much better in the future. It looks like we're stuck with him, especially if Ten Hag stays. He's not going to get rid of Onana, is he? We spent a lot on him. He's here, and he's a good goalkeeper. But is he a great goalkeeper? Is he the sort of guy that's going to get you 5 Player of the Season awards over the next 10 years? Like De Gea? No, I don't think so. I just don't think so. I don't think he's up to the standard personally. I just don't. And you kind of know when you've got the right goalkeeper as a United, at United. You kind of know. You know when you've got somebody who's a little bit sus, whether it's Barthez, Carroll or whoever. And you know when you've got your Edwin van der Sar and your Peter Schmeichel or your David De Gea. You just know. And I feel like Onana's not the right guy. Although he is a good goalkeeper, he's just not on David De Gea's level, man. Yeah, well, that's fair, Maps. You're sure Andre Onana will get better? Fair play. Yeah, no, he has got character. I like his character, Reece. I like how he's dealt with some of the issues and come out and spoken and said things like, oh, you know, it's easy to criticise the young players in this team. Well, don't criticise the youngsters, criticise me and stuff like this. Well, yeah, fair enough. It's easy to say those things, though. You've got to walk the walk, lad. Not just talk the talk. You've got to walk the walk. It's okay saying you're going to be a pincushion for all the negativity coming towards the club, but a lot of that's caused by your own errors, though. You know? Onana doing the hologram glitch at his near post. Onana's bad. I mean, he's not bad. He's a good keeper, and I think he will improve John O'Connor, but he's not David De Gea levels, though. Spanish Dave was class, but he also got bullied at Sheffield a few seasons back. Look, everybody, okay, David De Gea even last season had some gash games. Think about that Europa game where he's cost us 2 goals and cost us the tie. Look, he was error prone in a few games, but only a few. Every goalkeeper's error prone sometimes. It just happens. It's the nature of the position. What about the saves Onana made yesterday? Boxing, he was quality. He was very good yesterday. Great saves, couple of great saves, particularly that one from Walker, that thunderbolt, and great saves. But like I was saying earlier on, he still had an absolute moment of gashness for Doku's goal. Like, he's still got errors in him. So he was great yesterday. Very good. But still, we conceded a goal that we otherwise shouldn't have conceded due to an Andre Onana biscuit wrist. Do you know what I mean? So, yes and no. He was good yesterday, but he's also had that one moment. He's conceded a goal for us, mate. Should be bread and butter save, that one, for any top keeper. Bread and butter save. But there you go. No, he's not a bad goalkeeper. How do you think Ipswich will do in the Premier League with or without McKenna? They'll get relegated, mate. They'll get relegated, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, should have blocked it. Exactly, had another moment of gashiness. Yeah, he did. He had it was one goal that we should have had a clean sheet. It was that simple. We shouldn't have conceded that goal. Onana makes mistakes on a week-to-week basis. He's fucking used us. He does make a lot of errors. I don't know about week to week, but every other week, he does make a lot of errors. We will create more goals with his feet, man. Yeah, that's not true, though. Because if that was true, wouldn't we have seen that this season? Did we create more goals with his feet? No, we actually didn't, mate. One or two instances, yeah, fair play. He can play a ball out from the back, to be fair to him. That's good. He's also given the ball away a few times in recent weeks from his passing out from the back, just so you know. Like, he's not perfect at that. He's not perfect. He is better at it than David De Gea. I'm not bothered about that for my goalkeeper. I just want them to be able to save the shots, personally. Get in there, Shazad Ahmed, lad. Glory, glory, Man United. Let's go, Shazad. Let's in too many howlers. Big time. You just know he's not the one. Fabian Barthez vibes, lad. You just know he's not the one. Ten Hag, 10 out from team. He want a new era. Maybe that will be the case. No goalkeeper out there is perfect, says Rajat. No, they're all going to make errors from time to time. Even the best of the best, the Casillas, the Buffons of this world, the Schmeichels of this world. It's an error-prone position. It's the sort of position when you do make an error, you're punished with a goal conceded. There is no let-off, Great to see you in the live chat, though, Shazad Ahmed, one of the long-time legends of this channel. How are you getting on there, lad? What's going on there, Shazad Ahmed, you beast? I hope you're good, mate. Zamiasi with a super chat says, you missed super chat. Oh, God. Did I miss it or did I purposefully miss it, Zane? That's the question. Zamiasi, you really want me to read this super chat, don't you? No, thank you for super chat. I'm sorry I missed that, man. I didn't mean to. Let me go read it. I mean, I really wish I didn't read it, to be honest. It's just an absolute bollocks comment from you saying, United win the league before Cameron retires or not? So you're talking about James Cameron, this bloke you've got an obsession with, this director of Titanic, Avatar, Aliens and stuff, right? Okay. Yeah, nice one. Yes, we do. We do that before Cameron retires, mate, because I believe Cameron's going to continue directing movies to the day that he dies, lad. And I hope he lives a long time. But also, you know what I'm saying? What the fuck? What a random bullshit question from you there, lad. Cheers for that, though, dude. John Vallandingham, how are you getting on there, John? I hope you're doing well. You love this show. We love you too, John. Get in there, Mr. Vallandingham, lad. What are your targets for next season? Top 4 for me. Well, yeah. When you go from 8th place, you've just got to hope that you can get into the Champions League football. We're not expecting to win the league. We can't expect to, chip away 30 points and close down the gap on City overnight, regardless of who we bring in, regardless of what manager, regardless of what players we sign. Top 4, realistically, we've just got to hope for top 4, maybe a trophy. Top 4 and a trophy, mate. That's what we've got to hope for. Onana is too dodgy. Cake says, Pig, rate Onana's ability in terms of Premier League level. First being champions and 20th being rock bottom, then tell me if that level is acceptable for Man United. Interesting, lad. Okay, right, so looking around the leagues, looking at all the goalkeepers, I mean, I'll be honest, I think Andre Onana's probably he's probably 6th or 7th, mate. I think we'd be doing him dirty to say that he's 15th best goalie in the league. No, I think he's probably the 6th or 7th in terms of ability. So he's a good goalie, mate. Literally, he was in the Champions League final last year with Inter, mate. He's a good goalie. He's a good quality keeper, mate. But is he top draw? Is he the right one for United? I don't think so. But I think he is, we in the list of, if we're just ranking him, I think he's probably 6th on the list, mate. 7th on the list. Yeah. But is that good enough for Man United? I mean, no. We want the first on the list, don't we? We want the Peter Schmeichel. We want the Edwin van der Sar. We want the David De Gea. That's what we want. Tommy Boy says he's on crack, that lad. No, he literally is. Tumbleweed moment from Zane. He literally is. Zane loves sinking ships. That's why he supports Arsenal. Damn right. Probably won't happen. Dean Hendo's yes, lad. Shazza says definitely top 4 and a trophy. Yep. 6th or 7th, that's generous. I don't think it is cake there. I actually think you're being slightly harsh. Look, I'm not saying he's one of the best keepers in the league, because he's not. But actually, I kind of think that you got to say he's towards the top, mate. That's a bit harsh. Onana's 8th, you reckon? 5th? It's a good question, guys. Get your thoughts in. Where do you think Onana is in terms of a league table of goalkeepers in the Premier League? Fair enough. First season, yeah. True. Onana's the guy before the guy, I think. Yeah, that's what I think as well. He is Tim Howard, lad. Goalkeeper is only as good as defence. I'll tell that to David De Gea, mate. Tell that to David De Gea, who had arguably shitter defences over the years and just put in match-winning performance. I mean, I've seen David De Gea have games where it defies logic. I remember a game some years back. God, I don't know what season it was now or who was the manager at the time, but we played Spurs and we beat them 1-0. And it should have been 10-1 to Spurs, literally. But David De Gea made about 10 world-class saves and won us the game single-handedly. And the defence was shite in that game, but we still won because of De Gea. So, yes and no. You got him down towards the bottom. Fair enough, he's top 5 or 6, top 5 or 6, 6th. Kate, you're being overly critical, clearly. I think 8th, says Tommy Boyle. Yeah, you've got him near down the bottom. I think that's a bit overly critical, lad. Pig fans need to realise he's faced the most shots out of every keeper in the Premier this season. True twisted fate, but in that case, shouldn't you be shining then? You know, that's the thing. I think it's easier for a goalkeeper to look good in a shitter team. I've always thought that. You know, always thought that, like Jaskalainen at Bolton and whatnot. I've always thought it's easier for a keeper to look better in a shitter team. So shouldn't he be looking absolutely insane then? Getting loads of work, getting loads of opportunities to prove himself. Would we welcome De Gea? I would take De Gea back tomorrow, lad, personally, but I don't think it's realistic now. Jarvis Cocker says, looking forward to next season. Who are the next Academy graduates to look out for, in your opinion? Shea Lacey, Harry Amas, Ethan Wheatley, definitely Wheatley. Didn't Wheatley get Young Player of the Year or something like that? Also, you got players like, like Chorotire, yeah, I mean, these ones you said, some of these are good options. Didn't Wheatley get Young Player of the Year or something? He's definitely one to pick out for the future, mate, absolutely. I think Kwamboala, obviously, Willie Kwamboala is a good one. He looks kind of like pretty solid. I think he only had a few appearances in the first team this season, but he was used a couple of times due to injuries and stuff. Willie Kwamboala looks pretty solid at the back, mate. Yeah. Shea Lacey, yeah. Some good ones there, absolutely, Jarvis. Some good ones there, mate. Harry Gregg. But I'm old as the hills. Fair enough. Yeah, that is going back some time there, lad. Still without a club. Well, he's got ideas above his station, Gary. He still wants to be paid 300k a week, lad. He did have offers, didn't he? Apparently Inter put in an offer, but, for like 150k a week. And he's too big bollocks, mate. De Gea at the Emirates was his kryptonite. Yeah, he was awful in that Europa League final in terms of the penalty shootout. He was awful, United night. But that's a crazy thing to say. Onana will bury that penalty. I mean, you can't say that, mate, to be honest. Flappy Bird. Yeah, De Gea was special, though, that game versus Arsenal where he did the double save versus Sanchez. Yeah, he was absolutely special. Hi there, Y7Z. What's going on? If Bayern will take company, who knows who United end up with? Fair one, Terry. Yeah, that's fair, lad, yeah. Both Manchester United women and men's teams won the FA Cup. That is awesome, actually, isn't it, Radho? Yeah. Foden Shaw gives some clammy handshakes to everyone. Oh, my God. If you could sign any keeper tomorrow, no matter who you would sign, Alisson for me. Right, yeah, well, I mean, obviously Alisson and Edison would be up there, but I just wouldn't want to get one of those City or Liverpool scummers, so I don't know. I've always rated Donnarumma, to be fair. I don't watch him week to week because I don't watch guff French football or whatever, but I always rated Donnarumma. I also rate Courtois. Oblak's good. Yeah, we want a top keeper, mate. One of those top keepers. Letting De Gea leave is like us sacking Tuchel. There you go, yeah, fairs. Can't believe Ten Hag bought Bart Simpson as our new keeper. Eat my shorts, man. Wheatley be in the team soon. Yeah, he does look class, doesn't he, to be fair. Berber says, let's just be happy we won a trophy, even I'm not going in on trashy. Season's over and it ended nicely. Yeah, no, spot on, mate. What a way to end it as well. What an amazing way to end it. Like, it doesn't get much sweeter than revenge in the FA Cup final against City, mate. So that's really what it's about. It has been a really great ending to the season. We've got Europa League football, which is better than nothing, and we've got a trophy, and we beat the shitty scum last game of the season to deny them a double. It's fucking beautiful. And also deny Chelsea, Europa League spot, and deny Newcastle any sort of European football at all. It was such a sweet game. You would settle for Mary Herbst in goal. Rank your top 5 Man United goalkeepers in the Prem. Okay, Jarvis, great question. So Premier, a 92 on. For me, it's going to have to be, let's go with, so number 4, Tim Howard. Number 3, David De Gea. Number 2, Edwin van der Sar. Number 1, Peter Schmeichel. Who's number 5, though? I'm just trying to think. They're all shit beyond them, really. Definitely not Carroll. Definitely not Barthez. I'll just do top 4, mate. Sorry, Jarvis. I'm just going to do top 4, mate. Yeah, Tim Howard, David De Gea, Edwin van der Sar, Peter Schmeichel's the best in my opinion. So, yeah, good shout. Completely agrees as a musical Duke of Rodtown. Surely Cech gets the shout. He was never your Man United goalie. He was never a Man United goalie. Jarvis said rank your top 5 Man United goalies. If we're just ranking top 5 Premier League goalies of all time in Premier League era from any team, yeah, Cech's definitely in the list. David Seaman's in the list. Peter Schmeichel, Edwin van der Sar, and yeah, I mean, there's been so many great keepers for other clubs, to be honest. There has, like, fucking, whether it's Tim Flowers for Blackburn or Neville Southall, you know. Oh, yeah, Romero. Great shout, Berber lad. Yeah, Kushak, yeah. Thomas Kushak. I mean, yeah, fair enough. But Romero was absolutely the best second goalkeeper I've ever seen in my life, lad. What an amazing player. Yeah, Romero was brilliant, actually. Let's put Romero number 5. Van der Gaal, Raymond Van der Gaal, yeah, again, he's no Romero, though, is he? Like, Kushak and Van der Gaal, great backups, you know, good backups. They're just backups, though. That's all they are, mate. Romero actually played quite a lot of games for us and was always really good. So, definitely Romero number 5, mate, 100%. Sergio Romero, great shout, guys. Yeah, definitely Jarvis. I forgot about him. 100%, he's definitely in there. Jens Lehmann. He was good, to be fair. A bit of a hothead, though, eh? David James, I hope that's a joke, mate. David James was good, actually, but he just also was a bit eccentric and error-prone himself. So he's definitely nowhere near my list. Nigel Martin, good keeper, mate. Leeds United vibes, yeah. Jussi Laskalainen, yeah. Always rated Shay Given, to be fair. I thought he was pretty decent as well. Anyway, who gives a shit? Let's get into the chat for a couple of minutes then, guys. We've been on here for an hour and a half. Bloody hell. What? An hour and a half? No way. This is an insanely long stream. How's that happen? It feels like about an hour. Lloris was quality, absolutely. Yeah, Bartes won a league. Well, fair play to Compost Smurf. Lloris was absolutely brilliant for Spurs for a long time. Yeah, definitely. Tim Flowers, great keeper, yeah. Anyway, 223 likes. Nice, guys. Keep hitting the thumbs up. So I'm going to read a couple more comments out, then I guess we better wrap this up because it's getting on to be literally the length of a football match. In fact, it is. So that's a bit obscene. Let's... Casey Keller. Casey Keller was decent. We're scraping the barrel now, lad. Casey Keller was good. Ex-Leicester City goalie. American vibes. But if you're going to have Casey Keller on the list, you've got to put Brad Friedel way above him, lad. Brad Friedel was way better, lad. Casey Keller was good. But Casey Keller... What the fuck? Who are you going to say next, lad? Pavel Cernacek? You know, we're starting to scrape the barrel a little bit here now, boss. You know? Yashin, oh yeah, great. One of the all-time greats. Kayla Navas, fair play to him. He did play in the Prem, actually. Yeah, Nottingham Forest vibes, yeah. Lee Grant. Lee Grant, the most pointless player to ever play for Manchester United. Friedel was definitely clear of Casey Keller, lad. Yeah, 100%. And Howard, to be fair. I think Tim Howard was a great keeper as well. But I think Friedel was better, yeah. Where would you put Howard? I'd put Howard, you know, 4th on my list of all-time of Premier League era Man United goalies. So I did rate Tim Howard. I thought Tim Howard was a good keeper. He was really good at Everton as well. He was a good keeper, definitely. But he's no Peter Schmeichel. He's no Edwin van der Sar, is he? Scott Carson's a shout. Right, guys, I'm going to have to wrap this video up. It's been an absolute pleasure, but it's almost midnight. This is literally longer than a game of football now. So please do come back after this stream, though. It's been a great stream. Really enjoyed it. Thank you for everyone for chatting with us. Oh, Ray Clements, yeah. David Seaman. David Seaman counts. David Seaman was like the best goalkeeper of the 90s in the Prem, other than Peter Schmeichel, in my opinion. I think Seaman was top draw, lad. Yeah. You're happy we finally got the hardware this year? Come on, Stephen Shipman, I know. Big trophy that as well. The FA Cup, man, you can't deny it. It's a big trophy that. Grobbelaar was a very good keeper, but also a complete bung merchant, lad. You know? Carson just won the league. It's insane. I think he's got like 10 trophies, Scott Carson. Something like that. Without actually really ever playing. Big up yourself. And he just signed a new contract, didn't he? Big up yourself, Stephen Shipman. Thank you, Superstar. Thanks, Jim Conrad. Looked like Alex was laughing at them as they passed the trophy down the line, but it was most funny when Ten Hag sheepishly kissed the trophy. What a day, Jim Conrad. Great to see Fergie looking on, enjoying that with a big smile on his face. You know he really got a lot of joy from that, man. That's what I love to see. Onana out. Fair play to you. Hi there, John. Nice one, Larry. Rajat. Vutinator as well. Get in there, you beast. Thanks for moderating the chat. 3 or 4 fans now want Erik Ten Hag to stay. Last week it was 50-50. Yeah, I know. Look at that. So we've got a poll run. I'm going to end that poll now. We've had 690 votes. 74% of this live chat say keep Ten Hag. and the remainder say get rid. So, yeah, that is quite telling, you know, Vutinator. That's what an FA Cup victory can do. And also, as I've said, when you look at the different managerial candidates on this list of, you know, who we could get, Kieran McKenna being favourite, Poch, Tuchel, Southgate, etc., it's not really that inspiring. Like, you're almost just makes me think, well, give it Ten Hag till Christmas, you know. If we can't appoint one of the top coaches, then... Oh, yeah, Paul Robertson was good. Paul Robertson was good. Yeah, and I'll tell you another good goalkeeper people always slag, you know, because his career spiralled. Joe Hart. Now, I don't really like to praise ex-City scummers, but people almost talk about Joe Hart like these days, like he was a shit keeper. Joe Hart was quality, mate, for a number of years. He was absolutely class. He really was a great keeper for a number of years. And then he did sort of, I think, have some sort of psychological issue where he was never quite the same again. But, yeah, there's players like that, isn't there, where they're really great and then they... sort of just have a bit of a Cudicini, yeah, great shout. They sort of had a bit of a mental drop-off, you know. Get in there, Jarvis Cocker, top in the non-live comments. Yeah, please do. Everyone, do what Jarvis has done. That's a great point of contention, actually. Or no, not contention. It's a great talking point. Come back here, get your thoughts in on your top 5 all-time Man United goalkeepers and also in the Prem, maybe. Thank you very much. Great comment. Yeah, come back afterwards when this video is finished. Get your thoughts and opinions in about anything we've discussed in this video. Seaman was quality man for England when he busted his shoulder with that mental save. Yeah, absolutely class. Shame he got done by Ronaldinho in the 2002 World Cup from that fucking gash free kick, though. But, yeah, he was class for us, though. Exactly. Fair one, Oofman. Yeah. Nice one, Danny B. Yeah, so there's going to be lots of content coming, guys. Obviously, now the season is over. We're going to be covering all the transfer news. Of course, we're going to be covering all the latest in regards to... yeah, I agree with you, Superstar. We're going to be covering all the latest in regards to managerial position at this football club, like what is going on. We'll give you all the latest updates on Ten Hag, and if they do appoint somebody else, perhaps tomorrow we'll hear an announcement from the football club that he's been sacked. But also, there's a strong possibility that that won't be the case and maybe he will be backed. So we'll see what happens. We'll let you know with what's going on for sure throughout the summer, and we'll keep you up to date with all the latest transfer goings on. We're also going to be covering all the European Championship games, Euro 2024 games. So we're going to stream all the Euro, and of course we're going to stream the Champions League final as well, must play, yeah. So we'll still lots of content coming on the channel. Not tonight, Great Cornholio, but we'll be back playing FIFA tomorrow night, lad, yeah. Tomorrow night and Tuesday night. Nice one, guys. Well, that's it. That's it from me. I like him, John, Zinedine Zidane. He's obviously a proven winner, but at the same time, he's kind of like one of those guys that has only gone into Real Madrid, and obviously it's a Galactico team at the time, and he's had mad success with them. But to come over to the Premier League in a struggling 8th place Man United side, I don't know if he's got the what's needed for the job, mate, to be honest, because it's a different sort of a job entirely. Anyway, folks, not Copper America really, Y7. Maybe if I got the time, lad. Anyway, that's it from me, guys. Like, subscribe, and comment. Smash a like on this video before you go. Subscribe if you're new. Click the bell icon for notifications. Thank you, everyone, for watching this stream tonight and getting in the chat. Great chat, as always. What a community of legends. Thank you, everyone, for watching this season. Thank you, Kevin Yates, to the Vutinator, Rajat, Madhouse Must Play. Big up all the moderators in blue throughout the show for moderating the chat. Big up all the members in green for being members and supporting the channel as well, and everybody else who's got in here. Thank you so much this season for watching the channel, guys, and you hope we bring in Lukeman. Oh my god, yeah, I mean, I haven't seen a lot of him, mate, but that that Europa League final from him was almost a faultless display, wasn't it? Absolutely incredible, and statistically looks good, homegrown, etc. You could do a lot worse, I think, Tommy Boyle, lad. Great shout there, lad. Right, nice one. Thank you, Natalia, Kate Cadet, Rick Sanchez, everybody else as well. Come back after, get your thoughts and opinions in about what we discussed. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick at Flying Pig United, and keep a lookout for upcoming videos on the channel. We're going to be, of course, bringing you all the latest news. That's it from me, guys. Have a good night. Piggy loves you. Thanks again, Jarvis, Kingsley, and everyone. Stay classy, you bunch of legends. Come on, United. FA Cup winners. Look, the future for Ten Hag is still up in the air. We've gone over it in this video. We've tried to play the devil's advocate a little bit and look at the pros and the negatives of getting rid of Ten Hag or keeping him, and also the different managerial appointments we could make, none of which, in my opinion, the favourites on the list at the moment really tick all the boxes either. And it's one of those, isn't it? But come back after and let me know your thoughts about Ten Hag. Should we stick with him or should we let him go? Good night, guys. Thanks for watching. Piggy loves you. And remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much.